Greetings and welcome. My name is Tim Moody. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Randolph County School System. I'm here with our superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey. And as we do each month, thanks to Randolph Communications, formerly Randolph Telephone, we present as part of the From the Desk Of feature, an opportunity to share with our community some of the great things that are going on in our school system. And as we sit here today, we are 5 days away from the first day of school. It's been a great summer. So Dr. Gainey, with that, I know you're excited. There's a lot of anticipation. First day is a big day. So just what's going through your mind?
Well, it's exciting to get the kids back on campuses and all, and we're looking forward to somewhere between 17,600 students and 17,800 students, so somewhere in that range. I don't know where that's going to land. Teachers came back last Friday, August the 14th, and so the energy level's already picked up on the campuses, and we've had staff in and out of central office with different trainings in the last week. So just exciting to see the kids return. I've always said that schools were built for teachers and students to be in them. So in the summer when they're empty, that doesn't seem right to me. And even when I was a principal, I enjoyed when everybody came back, because that's why we build the schools, and that's why we have public school systems. It's for the kids, and obviously we have to have the teachers to help us with the kids. So been exciting 10 months starting on Monday.
So what does a superintendent do on the first day of school? What will your day look like?
Well, my first day will be a lot of travel among schools. The leadership team has divided up schools. We'll try to make sure we visit every campus that day. Now, there's an important part of that visit. After being a principal, I'm aware that I want to see what's going on, but the principals and the teachers have a lot more to do than to interact with the superintendent. So I'm going to go visit some schools and try to stay out of the way a little bit and see what's going on, and just see how the flow of the campuses are going, but also want to be very cognizant of the fact that I need to stay out of their way, because the school site is theirs to run, and I'm just going to try to participate in the excitement on Monday, and most of my week will be that. Obviously we'll have different things going on, normal business down here, but try to get to a lot of schools next week, and that's always been a big part of what we do. Leadership team spends a lot of time on campuses throughout the school year, so really Monday kicks all that off for us too.
So I'm sure you understand probably better than anybody all the things that have to go on to bring a school year together, the day-to-day operations of making a school year happen. But I suspect there are many in the general public who really don't get a full picture of just what it takes to make school happen, whether it's the buses or cafeteria workers. Could you just sort of give us an overview of maybe some of the unsung heroes or some of the things that just have to happen to make school happen?
Well, what people don't see is the summer months and even the spring before a school year ends. A lot of principals are beginning to plan that spring for the next school year. And the number one thing you do in preparation for a school year is get the best teachers in the classroom. So the interviewing and the selection of staff members and recommendation for hires to the Human Resources Department, that never goes away until you get your staff completely filled. But behind the scenes, you have principals and staff members working on school improvement plans and goals for the upcoming year during the summer months, working on duty schedules, working on student schedules. The class schedule is a big thing for the kids, particularly as you go up in grade levels, because it's much more complex at the high school level than it is at the elementary level. And the high schoolers are taking 4 different classes per semester, and that master schedule can often be very tough at the high school level, because students may want, when they select classes, you might have a situation where there's conflicts in the schedule where a lot of kids want Class A and they want Class B, and they're being offered at the same time of day, and you've got to move something around. So the schedule's a big issue, particularly at the high school level. But duty schedules, like I mentioned, you have cafeteria staff. Met with them today and welcomed them back. They're getting ready for the lunch periods and the breakfast periods that are going to take place every day. So just a lot of stuff. Transportation schedules, bus schedules, even the part about how do students arrive on campus? What do you do when the students arrive in the morning? How's the carpool line look? How do we get that moving? And it usually takes a couple of days to get things in routine. I would tell parents that expect a longer transition time in the mornings and the afternoons for the first week, and then everybody kind of gets in routine and carpool lines flow a little better and things start working quicker. But there's a lot of little things that, yes, the public doesn't see, but we have to do those to take care of kids appropriately and provide a sound education. And our principals and our staffs will rise to that challenge. I'm very confident in that.
So with the first day of school, obviously there is a lot of transition. You've got students, some of them moving into new schools. You've got new staff persons. You've got new administrators, new teachers. First day of school, what do you tell a new staff person?
Well, one of the things I've always been kind of amused with is, or amused by, you hear a lot of people say they were told when they went through their teacher ed programs, don't smile at anybody for 6 months. Well, I've always turned that around. When I was a principal and even in this role, I would say, if you can't act excited and be excited about what you're doing as a teacher, how can the kids be excited? And so my best advice is, you're there as a teacher because you want to be a teacher. Show your enthusiasm and let it bleed off onto the kids, and the year will start off on a good note. The energy, the excitement, let that play out naturally. I just have always believed you never lose by smiling. You never lose by being happy to see people and trying to work with people. So my best advice is just be excited about the kids coming in your classroom, and kids be excited about getting to meet new teachers, and let's go from there.
So now, in that same vein, let's take a high school senior starting their first day, so to speak, the last go-around in the Randolph County school system. It's their last year. What do you tell a senior on the first day of school?
I wouldn't put too much pressure on myself if I was a senior, but also you need to understand that this is your last go-around with a lot of things, whether you're involved in band or chorus or athletics, or being around this group of teachers who have taken care of you for the previous 3 years and you've built relationships with, or being around this student body you've been in school with, sometimes for as many as this may be your 13th year. You may have been with some children since kindergarten. I would just say, know it's your last go-around and enjoy it. I still believe that if you don't relax and get comfortable and enjoy what you're doing, your true talents are not going to be realized by people, and your abilities are not going to come out full. Being uptight and trying to be perfect about this or that and not make a mistake, that's not how it all works, in my opinion. I think it's be yourself, enjoy your time, and just remember this is your last year with us, and just enjoy it.
So when that senior graduates and then goes on to college or into the workforce or whatever it may be, you would like for that graduate to look back on their time as a student in the Randolph County school system and say what?
That they got the most out of their time in high school. They took advantage of the opportunities that were there, whether they were in performing arts, athletics, obviously the academics in the classroom. They took advantage of those opportunities, and I hope when it's all over, they cherish the relationships they had with staff members who nurtured them, challenged them academically. I'll tell you, Tim, one of the hardest things in my life was to leave high school, because I grew up wanting to go to the high school I went to. Just that was there. I wanted to be a part of what that high school offered, and I'd seen it my whole life, and it was a tough leaving there, because just exactly what I told you. I had some of the best teachers I think ever worked in the public schools in North Carolina, some of the best coaches ever worked in the public schools in North Carolina, and it was just, but I also, when I left, I thought, I think I got everything I could have got out of high school, and not saying that, were there better athletes than me? Yes. Were there students that did better in other areas? Yes, there were. But I left there with a sense of satisfaction that I took advantage of that opportunity those 4 years, and I I hope the children that are graduating do the same, and in whatever their interest lies. See, part of our problem is sometimes we don't look at every child's different, and because a child's interests are different, doesn't mean that their level of satisfaction from high school can come out different ways too. So I think we still have to look at that individual child and respect that child for his or her differences and individual interests.
Okay. So staying on the subject of graduates for just a moment, this past Monday evening we had our Board of Education meeting, and one of the things that was presented at the meeting was our graduation statistical information from this past year. And just a couple of numbers that we had. Last year we issued 1,184 high school diplomas. 88.34% of the graduating students plan to pursue further education. Also, and I think this is an impressive number, total scholarship money awarded to our students was over $30 million. So, and I know there were several other statistics that were shared. What could you add to that, or what kind of impression does that leave you?
Well, those statistics are impressive, and I'm happy for the children. But I'll tell you the one that jumped off the page at me, and I've been watching it since the first time I started looking at the Randolph County school system, which was the fall of 2012 when I saw that this position was open. The number that really grabs my attention is there was a number of 1.51% of our graduates were undecided what they were going to do after graduation, and to me, that's huge. And I say huge because it's a small number. And when I kind of look at that, I start thinking about counselors, principals, career development coordinators, teachers, and I get a real good sense of satisfaction over what's going on with our kids between those groups of adults. And there's other roles at the school level that build relationships with, or other adults that build relationships with the children that help them. But that speaks in a big way to the great work of our school counselors, particularly at the high school level. But you can't forget the middle and elementary counselors, because they've been working with them all along. But these teachers, they're working, helping children find their interest and find what direction they want to go. And I say the CTE teachers, I talked to them this week. So many things they do become very relevant. They provide instruction. They go right into a lab, or they go right into a shop area. And then we have these career development coordinators, which are very, very huge roles in guiding students through the different pathways in CTE programs, and they play a huge role. So when I see that, I'm excited for kids, because they have a direction headed out of high school, and then I get excited for what I know staff's doing behind the scenes with these children. And I say that because when I think of who's in these roles, they're not going to take a lot of credit for it. So we'd be wrong not to thank them and praise them for that statistic, because it's huge. And I think we need to be careful, just like we're talking about the children and they're having their own individual interest. We don't need to pass judgment on what direction a child's going. Having a plan is what, if a child wants to, I think some of the statistics we had was who was going into the workforce, who was going to the military, who was going to a 2-year junior college, who was going to a 4-year college university. I'm proud of all of them. I'm proud of all of them, because they have a plan, and they're all going to contribute to society as high school graduates in some way or shape, and they're going to do it in a positive way, because we have a community that has raised kids in a very positive manner, and I just feel good, and I feel good that we have that 1.51% is so low, but we have work to do, because I really would like to see that be a 0.
So with the advent then of a new school year, there are so many things that we could talk about, new programs and new initiatives. One thing that I know that we're rolling out at the district level is a parent-student handbook. And of course, the individual schools tend to have their own student handbooks, but the district parent-student handbook initiative is something that's relatively new and looks very comprehensive. Can you tell us about that?
Well, yes. Rick Dawes deserves a lot of credit for this. He's our director for administrative services for students, and he's headed up this initiative and been working very hard the last couple months on this. But this handbook is very comprehensive, and it includes a lot of important board policies which we used to provide in a smaller handout. It has our code of student conduct in it, and it also has a lot of parent notifications that we have to do annually. But it's kind of like a one-stop shop. And I think anytime we can do this for parents, we need to. We ask parents to help us support our school system, and we need to make things as easy to find, and we don't need them having to go everywhere to find different pieces of information. So I'm excited. It's very comprehensive. It's very thorough. Rick has done an absolute great job with this, and you know, Rick has great experiences in our school system. He's been a high school principal twice. He's very well respected among his peers, and I just can't say enough about the hard work. And Marty Trotter, Assistant Superintendent for Operations, has been very involved. But Rick's really carried the lead on this initiative, and I hope this is a good thing for the parents. It gives them, it kind of consolidates things. We're looking now to see that we can get it posted on the school system's webpage, so it'll always be there as well. With that, we hope we can get it posted on the school's web pages, in addition to everybody getting their hard copy of it. So just another thing, Tim, you and I have talked a lot in the communications arena since we've been working together. You know, I believe that if you put stuff out there, parents will help you. But if you don't put stuff out there, you're not letting one of your best resources help your school system, which is parents. These parents care about their kids, and they care about our school system. We've worked hard with student assignment rules and procedures. We've worked hard on board policies. This is another step. We've worked hard on our school system webpage. You've worked extremely hard on that. And I just think that if we're really serious about the parents helping us, then we need to do our part. Right. And this is an example of us trying to do our part.
All right, then, so just with some final thoughts, then again, with school beginning 5 days from now, just what are your final thoughts as you think about the upcoming school year? Well,
the upcoming school year kind of to me is a new phase for this school system, and you know, Tim, I visit around the school system, visit the community. I still think we have better days ahead. And that's not, there's a tremendous foundation. It was here when I got here in July 2013. But I think our better days ahead. And I still kind of, you know, I'm starting my third year, and it's just, I can't say enough about the community. I feel like in many ways I've been here forever, and that speaks well to the community. It speaks well to the staff members that are in these schools. It's exciting to me. I don't know other way to say it. And you know, we're gonna have our tough moments like everybody else. I mean, we're all experiencing a tough moment trying to figure out what's going on with the budget and how that could or couldn't affect some of our staff members who we care deeply about. But it's an exciting place, and it's a great place. And when I say better days ahead, again, there's a tremendous foundation here, but we owe it to kids to keep trying to get better. And so I think the 2015-2016 school year is another step in that direction, and I can't thank the community enough for the way they've treated me, the way they've treated my family, and the way they treat this school system, which is near and dear to me. I mean, it is. It's not a job to me to come over here every day and go out in schools and I say come over here to leave my house, come to work. It's not a job. It's I don't know what, but it's not a job. It's more of a you know, it's a passion. It's something I greatly enjoy, and the reason I enjoy it is because of the community that surrounds the school system.
Well, Dr. Gainey, thank you. And thank you to our community for spending this time with us, and again to Randolph Communications for giving us the chance each month to get out into our community and share with you the great things that are going on here. We're going to have a great school year. We're looking forward to it, and we will see you again next month. Thank you.